How you been? Been a hot minute.
I could spend probably the span of a whole video trying to explain to you guys where I've been since August, and I could tell you every detail. We could go into some big essay length tirade about how sorry I am, which I am sorry, but I feel like it it'd just be a waste of time. So let's just say there was illness, there was bereavement, there was enough drama to fill a soap opera. EastEnders could never, okay? EastEnders could never. But the important thing is that I finally got that spark back, that urge to make a video. And I suppose we could thank TikTok. I was on TikTok and it reminded me about Doctor Who and how I used to make videos about Doctor Who. I'm pretty sure the last video I made, no, the last video I made was about James Bond. I was going to say I'm pretty sure the last video I made was about Russell T Davies. It wasn't. It was about James Bond. But we're going to talk about Doctor Who today because I've got that spark back and I need to grab it while it's here. If any of you haven't been paying any attention to the Doctor Who community recently, you will be aware that a lot of things have gone down, a lot of things have happened. Mainly, since the Russell T Davies announcement, the biggest question had always been, who's going to be the next Doctor? Who is going to take over from Jodie Whittaker? Is it going to be another woman? Is it going to be a man? What is going to happen? Are they going to do with this decision to try to kind of pick Doctor Who up from the slump that it's been in? And it's been quite contentious because I don't think whatever decision they made, they weren't going to win. If they didn't choose another woman, people were going to be saying it's sexism. They didn't give a woman doctor a proper chance. That it would make Jodie look like she was just sort of stunt casting. And if they hired another woman, it was very difficult to know if they would have a shot of bringing back that old audience that left, because it would just look like they are making the same decisions that they were always making and it wasn't going to change anything. So either decision they made, they weren't going to win. And as you all know, I wasn't interested in going back to watching Doctor Who until the Russell T Davies announcement, because whereas I didn't like the casting of Jodie as the Doctor, I am very much aware that the biggest problem was the writing. Chris Chibnall and his team didn't even give her a chance. She didn't have a chance from the very beginning. So it wasn't until, it didn't matter who they hired. If Chris Chibnall continued on, it wouldn't have mattered who they hired to be the Doctor. I wouldn't have been interested. But it was the decision for Russell T Davies to come back that I admitted in the video, it kind of got me. I was interested. I still am interested. I need to know if Russell T Davies' writing has changed, because he wasn't perfect. He made mistakes as well in his era. Nobody's perfect anyway, but I did vastly enjoy his era a lot more, which I will admit, it could very well be a product of nostalgia. Maybe I will watch these episodes of Russell T Davies and think, oh my god, it's been shite all along. But I do watch his era with nostalgia glasses, and I can admit that. I'm a big enough girl to admit that. But I do believe he has way more bangers than he does failures when he was in charge. But there was always the question of what he was going to do with the decision of the Doctor. It was always going to be, is it going to be another woman, or is it going to be a man, or what is going to happen? And we found out a couple of weeks ago. I still wasn't in, because I didn't want to just shoot out a video because there was an announcement. I want to be able to have a passion and desire to make a video rather than just shooting one out no matter what I feel. So when the first announcement happened, I didn't really feel the urge to talk about it, but Ncuti Gatwa, I am so sorry if that's not how you pronounce your name, but that's what Google told me it's pronounced. I am so sorry. I haven't seen you in anything. I haven't seen any interviews or anything. It told me that the name is pronounced that way. So you can correct me in the comments, but I just want to apologise. I am not trying to be offensive. That is what Google told me, so blame Google. From Sex Education is taking over the role of the Doctor after Jodie leaves. And I haven't seen him in anything. I haven't watched Sex Education, so I don't feel like I'm qualified to make a statement on how I feel like he's going to do in the role. I feel like it is very much another give him a chance to show us what he has situation, as it is with all new actors who take on the role of the Doctor. Give them a fucking chance, okay? Like, you cannot judge unless you've seen them in a plethora of things and they've been consistently shy in all of them. Yeah, you can be a bit worried then, but you can't comment if you haven't seen them in anything, and I can't comment on this casting because I haven't seen him in anything. It is still a monumentous decision because it is the first person of colour to take on the role of the Doctor. It is very exciting for people of colour to see them represented on screen. So whether it was the fact that it doesn't matter that they hired a man again, it doesn't matter that Jodie's leaving, they still made a very monumentous decision for the history of Doctor Who, and they've still kind of made something that is going to go down in history as well. So they kind of got out of it. They wriggled their way out. Like they managed to get out of that catch-22 that was kind of going on about there was no way to win. They actually managed to win, kind of in a sense. They managed to win, and I am looking forward, albeit nervously, to see how this goes, because I have talked about my opinions on a female Doctor before. I have talked about my opinions on Jodie's era before. I feel like if you want me to get into that more, you should go and watch my other videos diagnosing Doctor Who. It's all there. It's all there. You'll see it all there. And I don't believe that we should hate on Jodie even though she's leaving. She doesn't deserve hate. She is still a human woman who deserves respect. And she isn't finished yet. There's the centenary episode, and there is obviously her regeneration, which I'm not sure is happening in the centenary episode or if it's happening in the 60th anniversary. I know the new Doctor takes over in the 60th anniversary, but I don't know if she regenerates or if it's just like from the start. If that's his first episode. I don't know what's going to be going on there, because I'm very confused. The centenary episode is because it's 100 years of the BBC or something, and they wanted to make a special episode for that. Why? Don't ask me. But once again, I am being pandered to because they are bringing Ace and Tegan back, and I have feelings on this. Ace and Tegan returning should be in the 60th anniversary, in my opinion. Ace and Tegan are classic companions. Tegan travelled with the 4th and the 5th Doctor, and Ace travelled with the 7th Doctor. This is audio stories aside, because if we go into audio stories, we're going to be here all day. So in mainstream Classic Who, that's who they travelled with. And the new Doctor Who runners, and this goes for the 2013 special as well, they didn't know how to celebrate the classic era in their celebration of the 50th. It was more a celebration of like the 8 years since the show had come back in 2005, because it was all about the new Doctors and the new companions, and there was a cameo from Tom Baker at the end, and that was about it. Five-ish Doctors reboot is so much better. I would totally recommend watching it. But it feels like a slap in the face to have Ace and Tegan come back so close to the 60th anniversary, but not in the 60th anniversary. And I haven't seen any announcements about the 60th anniversary that has anything to do with the classic era yet. David Tennant and Catherine Tate have been announced to come back, which is great. Still nothing to do, no celebration of the classic companions that I can see. An actress from Heartstopper, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I'll put it here. She has been hired to play a character called Rose, which it is unknown if she has a connection to Rose Tyler, if she's a completely different character. People suspect that she is Donna's child. Not sure how I feel about that either, but it's one of those things where it's like they're hiring new characters and announcing modern Who people returning, but there's still nothing to do with the classic era, and that really bothers me. A lot of people argue that they can't bring the old Doctors back because they look different. I have a problem with that, because Patrick Troughton and Fraser Hines were brought back for the story The Two Doctors, even though Patrick Troughton was greying, and it didn't make sense for Fraser Hines to be there because Jamie lost all his memories of the Doctor. It didn't matter. It was a special episode with Doctors coming back, and fans even created their own alternate timeline that made it all make sense. And it didn't matter that they looked different or that it didn't make sense. It was for a celebration episode with two doctors meeting each other in it. So I don't feel like the fact that Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy look different. Paul McGann, he could totally pass for how he looked in the movie, so that's not an excuse in his regard. I met Paul McGann. He is an absolute treasure. He is a lovely, adoring man. I love him. I bet he would love to come back, and I'm pretty sure he says he would love to come back. And it seems like an insult that they just don't ask them, because I think they would. They absolutely would. And it's just very, we're not celebrating 60 years again, are we? This time we're celebrating, how many years has it been since 2005? I don't even need, near enough 20 years or so. So it's still not. If they don't do this, if Ace and Tegan come back for the centenary episode and then there's no classic companions in the 60th anniversary, then what's the point? It's not a 60th anniversary, it's a 20-odd anniversary. And I find that very insulting, especially to the classic doctors and the other classic companions who I am absolutely sure would come back. There are so many classic companion actors just sitting there, at their disposal. They do audio stories all the time, and it wouldn't take a lot just to be like, hey, do you want to even be a cameo? I met William Russell, the man who played Ian in the very first episode of Doctor Who, and he did a cameo in An Adventure in Time and Space, which was a special made for the 50th anniversary but wasn't the 50th anniversary episode of Doctor Who. And if he was able to do a cameo in that, why couldn't he have even had a cameo in the anniversary special? He was in the first episode. I'm not sure if the woman who played Barbara is alive. I'm pretty sure the woman who played Susan is alive. So in the first episode, not worth bringing back, even for a cameo. No. Katie Manning is very active on Twitter. Someone else who I met who is an absolute darling. I absolutely love meeting her. It is like meeting a woman who is your fun aunt. She strikes me as that kind of woman. Lovely woman. So warm, so accepting and inviting. I would love to see her come back again, because she came back in a Sarah Jane Adventures episode, so I am absolutely sure she would be game. And I don't believe the BBC when they tell us that they don't want to come back, because it's the BBC. Doctor Who has such a rich history, and they're just not utilising it for this celebration, this anniversary. The 60th could be a second chance to do what they didn't do in the 50th, to do what Peter Davison did better when he wrote the Five-ish Doctors reboot. Please, there's still a year and a half until this anniversary special, even though they're filming it at the moment. I really hope that they're holding on to some classic announcements, because it was exciting to see Ace and Tegan. I was excited. You see Ace hitting a Dalek with a baseball bat, which I really hope that it's acknowledged that the baseball bat that she used in Remembrance of the Daleks was empowered by Omega, but we won't get into that. It wasn't an ordinary baseball bat, but I'm sure they'll do something, because you can't just hit a Dalek with a normal human baseball bat and expect it to work. But it just would be so nice to actually see a proper celebration, a Five-ish Doctors reboot style romp, but for the anniversary special. They're too busy trying to make it big and dramatic, and all the slow motion and the head turns and the dramatic reveals. Make it fun. I loved the Five-ish Doctors reboot because it was fun. It was so fun, and I showed it to my friends, and my friend Neve absolutely loved it. I wasn't even that invested in the Lord of the Rings stuff, because Sylvester McCoy was in that. Peter Jackson had a cameo in the Five-ish Doctors reboot. I didn't really was affected by that, but my friend Neve was in awe. It was great, and it's just great to share that kind of thing. But it's not a 60th anniversary special if it's just a bunch of new guys. It's literally going to be a new Doctor, which is fine. That'll be a great opener for him. But what about the other 60 years that they're trying to celebrate here? Give them a chance. I want to see it. I want to see a proper celebration for not just the new era that got kickstarted in 2005, but for the people who kept it going and made it happen from 1963 to 1982, was it? I can't remember. It was sometime in the early 80s. Please. Because then it's not a 60th. I know I keep saying it, but then it's not a 60th celebration. They have a chance to fix what they did wrong in the 50th. And so far with the announcements, it doesn't feel like they're doing that. And it feels like a wasted opportunity to have Ace and Tegan in an episode that's just before the 60th. Like, it's definitely to get people to tune in to Jodie's regeneration, which I think a lot of people are going to want to tune into anyway because she's leaving, which is, kind of mean for me to say, but I think that's true. I just wish that they were doing it in the 60th instead. Because then it wouldn't seem like nostalgia pandering to have Ace hitting a Dalek with a baseball bat and stuff like that. Because then it'll be like, oh, it's the anniversary episode, it's doing callbacks. Not, oh, it's the centenary episode. That kind of seems like nostalgia pandering a bit. But hey, who am I? I'm not a writer. Well, I am a writer. That is like the... I have a book on Amazon if you're interested in buying it. I am a writer. I am not a showrunner writer. I don't write TV. I don't know. I am just some fan with her opinions who people used to get really pissed off by, but I haven't posted a video since October, so maybe they won't be pissed anymore. Maybe they'll be lucky if I even get views at this point, because I've left it so long. Let's be honest. Anyway, I think I've pretty much covered a great deal of what I missed in the Doctor Who kind of circles at the moment, and that's just my opinion on everything that's going on at the minute. I'm very looking forward to seeing Ncuti Gatwa in the role of the Doctor and to see what Russell T Davies does with the show. Still have a very long time to wait before then. I'm not even sure when this centenary episode is supposed to happen. Not even sure if I'll watch it. I might just watch clips of Ace and Tegan whenever when the episode's over. Because I have no doubt that Ace will be badass. Ace is always badass. That's why I love her so much. I met Sophie Aldred as well. Lovely woman. I could barely speak. But I did meet her. And I also met Sylvester McCoy. Again, lovely man. I could barely speak. It was still amazing though. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below if you're still here. I don't blame you if you're not. I really don't blame you if you're not. But if you are, let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Don't do any of that if you don't want to. I don't want you there if you don't want to be there. And remember, we're not just celebrating 20 odd years here. We're trying to celebrate 60 years. And that's more of a remember to the showrunners of Doctor Who than to the audience, than to you guys, because I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm trying to say. But we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Bye.